The White House says there's no connection between reducing Manning's sentence and Julian Assange. But Wikileaks did tweet 5 days ago that Assange made this promise. If Obama grants Manning clemency, Assange will agree to US extradition, despite clear unconstitutionality of the Department of Justice case. Well, Harry Horton joins us now from Washington, D.C. with more on all of this. Harry, firstly, can you just tell us more about Chelsea Manning and Obama's decision to commute the sentence?
Well, Chelsea Manning, the former US military intelligence analyst, you'll recall, she was behind the leak of 700,000 classified US Army documents to Wikileaks. That was the biggest leak in US history. When she was sentenced to 35 years in prison, she was then known as Bradley Manning and changed her gender and became known as Chelsea Manning. She's been in prison for the past 7 years, and her supporters and activists have always maintained that her prison sentence was overly harsh, and they were also unhappy about the fact that she was serving time in a male military prison. So Obama, just a few hours ago, took the decision to commute that sentence. No official word yet from the White House on what was behind that decision. She will be released in May. Now, Republicans aren't very happy about this, as you might imagine. Paul Ryan, who is the Speaker of the House, he put out a statement saying this was an outrageous decision. President Obama now leaves in place a dangerous precedent that those who compromise our national security won't be held accountable for their crimes. As you said, the White House did say this decision wasn't based on that promise by Julian Assange that he would hand himself over to US authorities if Chelsea Manning's sentence was commuted. No other word from Wikileaks yet. We're still waiting to hear on whether Julian Assange will make good of that promise he made 5 days ago.
But this is part of a bigger gesture by President Obama, isn't it, days before he leaves office? Because it wasn't just Chelsea Manning who's had their sentence reduced.
That's right. This is one of President Obama's final acts in office, clearly trying to make an impact here. He has commuted more sentences than any other president in US history, continuing that act today. Some of the other significant figures that he's commuted today: Oscar Lopez Rivera, who is a 74-year-old Puerto Rican nationalist. He was serving a 70-year sentence linked to a group he was involved with, who were involved with bombings in New York and other cities in the 1970s and 1980s. He's been in prison since 1981 and will be released in May. The White House said the president determined that his sentence was sufficient enough so far, although the president did think that his crimes were serious. Also quite significant was James Cartwright, who was a retired Marine Corps general and former Joint Chiefs of Staff. Now, he pleaded guilty last year to lying to the FBI about his discussions with journalists in regards to the Iran nuclear deal. He hadn't been given a sentence yet, but now we know he won't be facing prison because Obama has pardoned him.
OK, Harry, thank you.